because they use the most resources. But I'm going to include the Europeans because they're such arrogant motherfucking assholes when they criticize the American people, the U.S. people. And there's rich people in Mexico, plenty of them. So it's just not that clear, really. And I'm disappointed in people when they want to blame other people for problems. You know, I mean, we've got the obvious things of let's blame the people with a different sexuality or a different race. All these other things. Nationality is another one of them, where it's like these people are not all the fucking same. And so bigotry seems to be so fucking pervasive because you're a fucking... Some people are fucking assholes. I don't know if it's you or not, but go check yourself out in the mirror and figure your shit out, because you probably got some too. Certainly if you look online, oh my God, you lose faith in humanity. So much hate. What we've got to focus on is hating what we're doing to the world. Even when you look at something like China, we could blame China for how much carbon emissions they produce, right? Easy to do. Those carbon emissions are being produced largely, well, they have a huge population, that's one thing, but to produce products for the other places. And so if you're going to start counting up, the sins of humanity, then the people using the most products, wherever those go, that counts on their sins. That's how it is. Am I going to blame somebody in Bangladesh because they're making clothing that pollutes their own land and then they sell it to another place where some rich person buys it? No. There's plenty of blame to go around, and I'm not sure we want to play the blame game too much. We can play it historically, and I'm not too into that either. I think we got to look at what we do as individuals now. And I'm doing okay here. Now, I'm a lucky person in some ways. I've worked my ass off to be this lucky. And I'm willing to share that luck with a lot of other people. And I think that a lot of the wealthy people of the world, rather than being villainized, can actually be seduced. That we can seduce the wealthy people of the world who own lots of land, who own lots of resources, into putting those resources into things that benefit not just you, selfish fucker who wants to get free shit. Sorry if that's not you. Don't mean you then. But a lot of people are that. They just want to get free shit. I should live for free. I should have UBI, Universal Basic Income. The wealthy people say that. Nobody poor thinks they're going to get Universal Basic Income. But if we can seduce the wealthy into moving their resources into restoring the world, thinking of the world as a big food forest garden. And it's going to be spotty. It's not going to be perfect. There's places where you can do that, places where it's more difficult. We have political problems that we need to stop. Like, war is obviously a totally destructive thing. I don't know how to fix that immediately. But, well, actually, I have thoughts on that, but I could get killed for saying them. So, if we can make it common that everybody's reproducing any seed that they have access to, and this is one idea. This is just one thought. If we can make it the hobby of everyone to take any tree seeds that they find and make baby trees and then give those or sell those to anybody who has any land. I am looking at a lake right now, okay, that is disappearing, and for a variety of reasons, mostly which are probably human caused. And I'm looking at an area where cows are the primary animal. And so if I can do anything to turn the land I'm looking at right now into a place that has hedgerows for wildlife, birds, that has canals maybe. I mean, people love to talk about chinampas, floating islands. They're not floating, they're canals, but whatever. In Tenochtitlan in Mexico City, which is a totally unsustainable city. But if we can do similar things out here on this federal land, it's federal land, then we can benefit this total area. This whole lake could produce way more food with just different methods of doing things. You know, we could do rabbit farming and chicken farming instead of cattle farming. It's controversial. There's a lot of issues. I know we can have conversations about it, but I'm pretty pro rabbit and pretty pro chicken. So this shit weighs heavy on me, man. It's almost impossible to handle. I see the collapse of civilization. A lot of people will predict that short term. I don't. I predict that in stages. The coronavirus was an interesting warning shot for us. And there's worse to come. We are fucking the world. We are killing the oceans. It's all, I mean, just dismiss me as an idiot if you want. That's fine. You know, go ahead, play your video games. But this video game has really good resolution, and you don't get another shot at it. Well, in some sense, I hope we do. I hope that we have small failures that teach us. And I have hardcore thoughts about what an actual sustainable world would look like. And they're not easy for you because they're going to interrupt every system that you're involved with. The banking system, the money system, the agricultural system, transportation system, what you expect to get. But if you're interested in anything I say, a bunch of flies around here, then look into it further. And, don't take it too much as I do as the weight on your shoulders. You're not Atlas. You cannot hold the world on your shoulders and survive. I can't. I can watch my cute puppy over there playing in the corn. He's picking up sticks and playing. You know, and you can take care of your children. And don't give up on your children either. Some people say never have any children because there's no point. It's like, there is some room for optimism. Won't be easy. But look at history. History has not been easy at all. There's been horrible wars and horrible famines, and there's been famines that were caused by climate, and there's been famines that have been caused by invasion, and there's been violent incursions of all kinds of people. And so it's not like everything was that great, really. We can romanticize the elites and the best of what humans produced, but we actually have potentially more opportunity now, especially with the internet, for more people to know more things and to produce more things in smarter ways than ever before. And that's my most optimistic view. And I'm not a guy who's going to spread a lot of optimism. I mean, I'm a doomer. I think we're dead meat. But I don't think we have to be. That's a choice. And that's a choice you make as an individual. And then you spread that to your family, and then you spread that to your community. And some places make it. Maybe. Maybe there's a global consciousness. I've thought that for a long time. And you know what? I'm going to do my best on being a delusional, odd dude who suggests that there's other ways we could do things that restore the land instead of destroy it. Because we haven't always destroyed the land. Not every culture has done that. Most of them have. But there have been places that have taken care of their own environment. And we actually have more opportunity than ever before to take care of our own environment. We have all these species, for example, of plants. Now, there are people who will talk about genetically modified organisms and stuff like that. But it's like, that's dangerous. It's dangerous if you're doing genetic editing, and genetic editing is very different than genetic selection. And if you don't understand the difference, then figure that shit out before you talk about it. Otherwise, I'm just going to tune you out. Genetic selection of better plants for places is a wonderful idea, and it's been going on for thousands of years. It's not dangerous. It's great. Genetic editing of splicing genes into other genomes to somehow make it better in some way is completely dangerous. Will we die from any one case of it? No, probably not. But we will fuck up. We'll fuck up once, or we'll fuck up twice or 3 times, but we only need to fuck up once. We only need to fuck up once to kill the entire fucking planet. I guarantee you that. It's a completely dangerous activity. Don't be splicing pieces of fish genome into a plant to make it do something else. Because the rippling effects, the chaos effects of that are potentially catastrophic. And we'll still do it. And so that's one of the reasons we'll probably just all die. Sorry. But the genetic selection of plants, of planting them in slightly saltier soils or more nitrogen rich or less nitrogen rich, or wetter or drier, or the ones selecting the plants to. I mean, I see it here. I'm right here. I'm right fucking here on the frontier of biological evolution. And, I see trees that mature earlier than others and later than others. And I can select the seeds of those, and I can decide, okay, I'm gonna pick the earlier ones and the later ones, and I'm gonna reproduce those. That's not a tricky thing. I mean, a fucking caveman could figure that shit out. And it's not smart if we start editing genes together to make weird shit happen that's going to kill off species of insects or, all this. I'll pick my nose for a while just to amuse you. My puppy is so happy. That's all that matters, really. As I give up on the world, as many people are, it does make me happy just to watch my puppy. She's over there. Just pick up leaves and sticks and move them around. It's like I'm just trying to find some happiness on a personal level. And the puppy won't live that long. She'll die before I will. Maybe. If I had a gun, I'd already be dead. But she's keeping me alive. It's nice to have somebody to take care of. And on a worldwide level, it's nice to have a world to take care of. And we're not doing it. So, back to the topic at hand. You can make your own decisions about how you can improve things around you. That may be almost impossible. You may almost have no options for fixing things, but you can do better than worse. You can just walk around stabbing people. Knives are available, right? Or you can walk around trying to help other people not go around stabbing people. That would also be good. And you could raise kids better, to not be abused, not be sexually abused. I find that whole thing bizarre. Like, Jesus. Maybe we should have a purge. Maybe we should just kill all the bad people. But we would have to figure out who the bad people are, and I have my thoughts on that. You may as well. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe suicide centers should become simpler. If you don't want to live, it should be easier not to live. I should be able to walk into a place that had, it was nice and clean, right? Had doctors and nurses, counselors, and I should be able to say, I don't feel like being here anymore. And they should say, well, that's interesting. Why not? And I could say the reasons I have, and they could say, well, the counselor possibly could say, here's some really big options for you that are available. For you to move your location, to get away from your abusive family, to have a different job or function, that we can help you find a better life. And that's really a cool idea. Real counseling. Because just fucking philosophical counseling